Hello everyone and welcome to... The game opens with one of the saddest interactions that two men with the amount of testosterone as a bull on SARMs are possibly able to muster about just having a dead dream of wanting a simple life with their sons. While then quickly switching to Leonidas, giving such a powerful speech, I'm taken over by his macho-ness, turning into a chest-pounding barbarian that salutes to him. I managed to regain my composure just in time for Leonidas to be showing off his fighting skills, and then pick a grown man up by his neck and snap it with one hand.
What?
I then get a taste of his power, going on my own killing spree, where I get this guy as he runs away, and my spear is a good meter away, so I can only assume he pooed his pants in fear and died of sheer embarrassment. This was followed quickly behind by his mate, who has obviously been listening to too much I Believe I Can Fly, and then fell off as hard as R. Kelly's career. After some racked up kills, I encountered the big boss. This guy, who I tackled off a cliff and then took me so long to finally take out that his dialogue didn't even get to finish.
Let's go. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to die yet. What? I think he's dead.
After he finally died, I found that I've been betrayed and my forces would be flanked, meaning the end of the stand of the 300, but Leonidas didn't take too kindly to that, and made that man into a human shish kebab. Look at my face during that scene. That is a look of pure shock that I will take to my grave as an excuse for the absolutely high level Sherlock Holmes-esque deduction I made next.
Oh, that's not Leonidas.
I will never change my story. It was shock. You will never make me break. I went with normal because the game said hard was for experts and nightmares for people who enjoy pain and suffering, and I'm not a masochist, so normal it was. I chose exploratory as it's recommended, and then eeny meeny miny mo chose Cassandra for me, and my adventure began where I was greeted with the juicy butt of Zeus, and a slight yet very tasteful reveal of his peen as the camera soared past. The cinematic flew around a bit, and then the eagle scooped up a fish, for no reason except for fun as it just dropped it back off a few feet later. Mind you, not in the river anymore. I may have killed a couple people, but that was just rude. Now my character makes their debut, humming the music and breaking the fourth wall, as two thugs call me down from my house where I make a 25-foot jump to my foot and knee like a superhero and just stand all casual. I'm only 20 and I know my knees would at least be screaming bloody murder at me if they weren't just shattered into 1,000 pieces. And if my knees weren't hurting already, my jaw would be as the thugs sucker punched me, sending me into a violent rage where I handily sliced them both down as my eagle finally arrived just in time to warn me about the battle I finished half a minute ago.
Thanks for the warning.
As I recover, my favorite character, Phoibe, comes into frame and immediately takes a seat to steal my food. But she gives me my mission to talk to Markos, so I flip her a coin, finish off the goons, grab my gear, and then head off. Although, I never saw the quest to put on my armor, so I just run around for a bit, find a cave, look at cave, find wolves, kill wolves, complete area, and then follow the god of thick cake himself until I find Markos's vineyard on my own and spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to free the horses because they have a white dot over their head. And I want one, but I give up and climb a house, finally realizing I need to put on my gear and see the man I need to talk to right below me, and I meet the absolute bane of my existence.
Why not? I like wine, you like wine, everybody likes wine!
If I ever hear him say those words more times than I heard playing tonight, I just might... He gives me a quest to get money from a guy that owes him because he owes me, so I take a horse from him, and my quest from earlier is finally complete.
Fine choice. Everybody benefits.
A woman comes up and tells us that Phoibe has been taken. I shoot off immediately, arriving just in time to hear their plans to sell Phoibe, and for that to be the last words they ever speak to one another as I silently stab and break every one of them.
You're dead. Hello? There he is.
Once they're all dead, I free Phoibe and talk to her about family, leading to a cutscene where I get to meet my father, training me to fight, and my mom absolutely wrecks me, betraying all of my trust as I plummet. But I don't let it get to me, and instead I get up to perform the most pathetic charge I've ever seen, to which I somehow get the privilege of being called the pride of the family by my father, which is totally undeserved, but props to Dad. I snap back to reality, and Phoibe, who I now see as my daughter, lets me know about a mercenary who wants to kill me. That little food goblin stole my heart just like she stole my food. With the threat of danger, I decide to do nothing. I didn't do anything about it, and instead just run to get my money, and after my horse is done doing 360s, ramming their head against the stone wall,
oh my god, my horse.
I talk to the man who should give it to me, but instead he lets me know that the slime of a man, Markos, got his money for the vineyard from Cyclops, the head mafia man of the island, and thinks that just because we'll both be dead soon, he shouldn't pay us, which reveals my second philosophical quote.
I'll be dead and rich.
So I smash his merchandise, get the money from Doris, which leads me to run into this guy, threatening Markos, who I can only describe as if a ball sack sprouted muscles and then ate a man for his features. I unfortunately save Markos from surely being eaten as well, and I get another flashback of me running away from home for all of 20 steps before becoming exhausted, stealing a boat, getting caught in a storm, and being thrown around worse than every single one of Mike Tyson's opponents. Then I wake up on a beach and get jump scared by the worst looking version of Markos I've ever seen. He already looked worse than the grapes he's trying to sell, but in this frame, he looks like the demon in the corner of my room when I wake up in the middle of the night.
Everybody wins!
For some reason, I trust this raisin and walk off into the sunset before flashing back to the present, where I complain about my weapons, unapologetically foreshadowing to the appearance of this woman who makes bows, but has the worst sin a programmer can make in her code, to walk slower than my character's running speed in a quest where I have to follow her. But to her credit, she delivers on her promise for a bow and wins me over enough to try and practice on rizzing her up.
So, you want to go out to a bar at some point? I mean,
Those fucking bandits need a thrashing.
I don't think that answers the question that that I
I'll fix your
asked you.
It didn't go so well. I'm so lucky I have a girlfriend and don't need a Riz anymore. I leave with only a slight trail of
Let's go.
tears in my wake to start investigating the area where the bandits stole her sticks, to be able to track them down and bring them to justice by way of my blade in their back. I scout them out and then make my way in, taking every one of their dirty souls and storing them in the steel of my dagger, consuming them for all of my
Necessary sustenance.
And then I steal a bit of wood to prove I finished the job, hand it back to the bow woman, and realize I've leveled up to the point where I can increase my assassination damage. And then leave to talk to Markos, who tells me about Cyclops and how he has an obsidian eye that I can steal, all the while looking like he's preparing to release the most massive flatulence with the power to start a typhoon strong enough to wipe out a village. Wow. That's something.
You should be pumping iron right now.
After showing Markos who's boss, I look at the map to find Cyclops' manor and start riding on over before marking what seemed like an entire marching band worth of people and finding a way to infiltrate from above. I get to the other side while being spotted by this prick, but fortunately not getting chased, and wait to make my move. As I do though, I see a man throw up, then I kill his friend, rap back to kill Vomit Man,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're already having a bad day.
then kill some more, have a fight, and steal the eye.
Ha 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 ha. You don't got me, Mr. Doggo Man.
I return to Markos with the eye, still for some reason full of hope that I did it right and wasn't spotted, and get into another fight with Grunts, who I take out before talking to Markos, where he opens up with,
I be careful.
and I don't know whether to hate him more or respect the pun, but he goes on to blame me for bringing the grunts like he could have done better, so I still hate him, even though it definitely was my fault, and I had the face of a man high on copium. But Markos continues yapping about his plans and tells me about a fancy boat that just came in that is probably the Cyclops' and his friends, and how I should go and kill his rich buddies because
It's win-win, my friend.
and I accept his quest to kill them and take their money with the stipulation to pay off Marcus's debt, proving Cassandra, despite the killing, is a better person than I'd be if I were them. After the conversation, I take off to murder in the next episode. Peace!
Everybody wins.